Dear students of first year and second year intermediate, I would like to bid you a very warm good morning today. Winter is going to be over. The bitter winter, I think it's coming to an end very soon. As usual, I will now today conduct a class on clause. Previously, I have discussed about clause. I have conducted a class on clause identification, right? And you could understand what actually clause is, what is the basic difference between a sentence and a clause. So I am repeating one thing you need to be very much careful about: sentence and clause, two different things. Clause is the combination of two or more than two sentences by adding some connectors. And sentence, what is sentence? Sentence is the combination of subject, finite verb, an object or complement, whatever, and clause is the part of a sentence. So a clause in this sense must have a subject, must have a finite verb of its own. We already have gone through two classes on clause, and today it is the class number 3, especially on clause. As usual, to make my lecture clear, to make you understand, to make you clear about what clause is, I have set some sort of examples, and by means of examples we will try our level best to catch up what the clause items are and which clauses will appear during our study. Thank you. So please have a look on the board. And in first sentence, what I have written: I saw a boy who came here. That is a very simple use of clause. So here WA, so who, this is the connector, and after this connector who came here, this is a clause, and this is called what? The subordinate clause. And this one, I saw a boy, this is the principal clause. Okay, so now my question is, according to my division in the next class, I had shown you that subordinate clause are subdivided into 3 categories. First one is noun clause, which we call in another name, that is nominal clause. Second one was adjective clause, and it has another name also, the relative clause. And last but not the least, the subordinate clause of adverbial clause, right? That is the adverbial clause. So here we are still in the process of learning what is adjective clause. Look here I have written WA, so who, and before who, before this connector, I have written a noun phrase, a boy, right? So this boy actually is indicating this WA, so who, and this is called what? This boy is called antecedent. Anti means purbe, accident means obosthan, purbe obosthan. That is at the back. What is being used is called antecedent. So here a boy is sitting just in front of the WA, so okay, and this boy actually is indicating the whole sentences sitting later on, right? So this boy is called antecedent. In one word, what is antecedent? Antecedent is the word or phrase that must be noun or pronoun, and which will set just before the connector and indicate that connector. Okay, then what? I know who came here. Look, there is no antecedent here, there is no noun phrase, just I have directly written this sentence, and this who itself is the subject of the later part of the sentence, right? And that's why this is, if I ask, this is a noun clause, and again if I ask no with a question, what? I know what? The answer definitely will be who came here. So if the verb answers the question of what, then the rest of the part of the sentence will be called as noun clause. And also previously we have gone into the deep of noun clause, and today I have shown another example only to remind you what noun clause actually is and what is the basic difference between noun clause and adjective clause. For adjective clause, there will be or should be an antecedent. Antecedent is a must. And for noun clause, there will be no antecedent whatsoever. So this is the basic difference. And number 3, the book which I gave you yesterday is mine. This is another adjective clause, right? So one thing I would like to do it. I want to remove this I want to cross out this I. Okay, so if I cross out this I, what will be the sentence? The book which gave you, sorry, this sentence is not making any meaning. So I am again writing I. Okay, and if I can now remove this connector, which will it carry a meaning? The book I gave you yesterday is mine. Is it a correct sentence or not? The answer will be it is a correct sentence. So you just can remove this connector from the clause without causing any injury to the sentence, without causing any defect to the sentence. Okay, so this process can be done only when you have a subject, after the connector. If there is no subject, you cannot remove this connector from the sentence. So subject after connector is a must. So in this case, this is called what? Contact clause. This is called contact clause. What is contact clause? When the connector is removed. And when connector can be removed? Connector can be removed only when there is a subject after connector. Okay, and this adjective clause can be, changed into a contact clause. Again, this is the boy who did the work. So this is the work. Look, this sentence. This is the antecedent, the boy. And who did the work? There is no subject here. Is there any subject here? No. So who itself is the subject. So here you cannot remove this who. You cannot do it. The boy, this is the boy, did the work. It will carry no meaning without the presence of this word who. So who is a must here. And that's why this sentence cannot be contacted. This sentence cannot be called or cannot be termed as a contact clause. So contact clause is possible only when there will be a subject like this after connector. Okay, thank you. And then again in the fifth sentence, look, he is as intelligent as you. He is as intelligent as you. Okay, that means here is the connector as, but I have written you. So I have just made an ellipsis. Ellipsis means biroti. That is, you are intelligent. This thing I have written into bracket. Okay, why? Because these things are silent here. This you are intelligent is not being written in the extension of the sentence, and that's why if I write this sentence in this way, he is as intelligent as you, this sentence will be called elliptical clause. ELIPTICAL, elliptical clause. So what is elliptical clause? Elliptical means something is absent. The term elliptical has come from the word ellipsis. Ellipsis means something absent. That is the three dots like this. What does this three dot indicate? This three dot indicates that something is silent and there may be something more to be said. So without saying that thing, I have just written these three dots only to indicate that something is hidden here. And elliptical clause, that is whenever I am keeping the verb and object absent in the sentence, only then I can call it an elliptical clause. So I think you have got a clear idea about what elliptical clause is. So I have discussed on what? I have discussed on the clause. Then the division of the clause. Clause are of three types, that is the principal clause, the subordinate clause and the coordinate clause. And principal clause and coordinate clause are almost the same. And what is coordinate clause? Coordinate clause is the combination of two principal clauses by adding coordinating conjunctions. And what is our topic of discussion? The main focus point of the discussion will be subordinate clause, because subordinate clause can be divided into three groups. First one is three types, I had better say. One is noun clause, number two is adjective clause, and number three is adverbial clause. And to understand noun clause, I already have conducted a class on noun clause, where the noun clauses are actually said in a sentence, where the noun clauses are actually used in the sentences. And the difference between noun clause and adjective clause, I also have discussed about it. One very basic difference: noun clause contains noun clause takes no antecedent, but adjective clause must take an antecedent. This is the basic difference. And very important thing, what is contact clause? Contact clause when you can omit the connector from the sentence. And when you can omit the connector? Only connector can be omitted only in that place where after connector there will be a subject. If there is no subject, there will be no omission of connector. We have got a proof through these 3 sentences over this matter. And at last, elliptical clause, that was very important for today's discussion. What is elliptical clause? Elliptical means something silent, something hidden, something not used, okay? But we can understand, we can realize the existence of that missing parts, as we have seen here in the last sentence. He is as intelligent as you. I am not writing he is as intelligent as you are intelligent. So you are intelligent, that is are and object are not focused here, are not being written here. So this is the elliptical clause. So that's all for today. I think you have got the idea clear, and thank you very much for watching it. So hopefully later on we will be clarified the other topics related to clause. Thank you very much.